It was the first day at a new school. Mom packed a great lunch. It was taken every day that year. Those were the best lunches I ever had. The Bully series, for me, is roughly about dealing with, obviously, bullies, but I observed it growing up. I saw people getting bullied all the time. People that didn't deserve it. There was no reason for it other than other people trying to make themselves look good. I think the worst aspect of it is the onlookers, because those people, they don't do anything but cheer on the bully. You know, they don't try to stop it. Some of them may be afraid to. Some of them actually are just glad that they're not the ones being bullied. And others just want to go along with the crowd. So I think that they hold just as much to blame as the bully does for what goes on. Most of this work came out of a workplace bullying situation. I won't go into too many details, but I did have a boss that was kind of wanted to control everything, wanted it his way, but didn't want to tell you how his way was until after you messed up in his eyes, I guess. I try to use all the different aspects. You have the bully, the victim, the actors. A lot of the artwork is in grid patterns. You'll even see that some of them are paired up together size-wise. It wasn't a conscious decision at first. It's just something that I noticed while I was working on them, and went ahead and pushed it a little bit. So there are some that are pairs. Noogie and Don't Get Burned. Those are. My goal is with the work was to decide how to convey that relationship between the onlooker, the victim, the bully, to try to figure out what that connection was. Try to show all three aspects at once, and even try to give the side of the bully. A bully's life is one piece that deals with that. It shows the story of how that guy grew into a bully. The grid patterns partly show kind of an order to things. These people are getting picked on, so their world's kind of out of order. They're no longer in control of what goes on to them or the relationships to the world. The piece entitled In My Room, Hero Within deals with probably the most autobiographical piece in the work in the series. The victim, or the hero, he has a superhero in his chest, in his heart, and the only place he can go to escape the reality is in his mind, or in his room. In the background I have the lyrics to the Beach Boys, or Brian Wilson's song, In My Room. It basically says there's a world where I can go to tell my secrets to, and that's in my room. And that's the only place this guy has, is to go to hide. On the left-hand side, there's a series of grids from a video game called City of Heroes. That's how he escapes. He pretends he's a superhero. A lot of the pieces in the series has photographs from TV, movies, some are off the internet, of just various people. They're meant to represent the crowd, the onlooker, with the idea that anybody can be in the crowd. Just like anybody can be that victim in the chair, or anybody can be the bully. A lot about what bullies do to victims is based on how that victim perceives it. You as a bully may not realize that you're actually being a bully. But that victim, that person you're doing that to, that's how they perceive it. They perceive it as you bullying them. So some of it is just about appearances and how we relate to other people. Probably the most disturbing piece, at least in my viewpoint, in the works is swirly time. Swirly time is two guys dunking another guy's head in a toilet. And there's a lot of bathroom graffiti on the background in the painting. It's a little bit political. There's a picture of Bush, George Bush, who was president at the time I did the piece. Probably one aspect that actually started me on the idea for doing the bully series, other than just the boss and having seen it in the past, was I was doing a series of paintings called the Sappy series at the same time. The Sappy series was about a relationship that I was in and just started, was doing work on it. Basically, you paint what you know. That series, I had completed 4 pieces that were in a show in a museum. And one of my mentors had mentioned them to me, and he kind of labeled them the Sappy series, so that kind of where that started. But he also came to me and kind of told me that I was selling out, which to me was hard to do because I couldn't believe I was selling out when I'd only completed 4 of those pieces. So I don't know if he was just trying to motivate me or just what. He did have strange motivational techniques. So it kind of made me start looking elsewhere for a series just to do. And I put the Sappy series off for a while. I have since gone back to it, and there'll be a video for those soon. But the bully series kind of came from that as well. Not that I felt like he was bullying me, but it was kind of a strange situation, so it did trigger some of this work. Probably still one of my favorite pieces in that series is called The Dance. It was actually the first of the bully series. And I used one of my favorite paintings, Matisse, The Dance, as an influence. There's a panel over to one side that has basically it's a story of 2 cowboys, and one of the cowboys is making the other cowboy dance by shooting bullets at his feet. So during that dance, he basically reenacts the painting, The Dance. So it's my little homage to art history. And that painting kind of set up the series. It was the first using grids. It was first using images from popular culture, even though I was drawing each of the figures in that one. Eventually I started incorporating photographs into the work. One of the more ambitious pieces is called Five Bullies. It's the largest piece of work that I've created at this point. It's 6 feet tall by 14 feet wide, 7 different panels, 5 panels in the middle are individual full-size, life-size figures taken from photographs that I took of individuals I knew. Printed them on newsprint in little 8-inch by 8-inch squares. Collaged them onto wood. So there's 7 different 2 foot by 6 foot panels that get screwed together and hung on the wall. I've always had a cartoonist kind of style to my drawing. Part of that is influenced by comic books, cartoons. Growing up as a kid, part of it is my way of kind of drawing people into the work. And then once they're in it, then they start realizing the serious subject.